Jennifer Connelly walked onto the set of Jimmy Kimmel Live with Calm Elegance, to promote her latest film, a haunting psychological drama already earning Oscar whispers. Her entrance drew cheers, her smile was gracious, but beneath it was a storm waiting to unfold. "Jennifer Connelly, everybody," Jimmy announced, flashing his trademark grin. But even in that moment, something was off. His tone, barely noticeable to the casual viewer, carried a note of condescension. "So Jennifer," he began, "there's been a lot of talk lately about actors who take themes of a broken bar maybe a little too seriously. The ones who act like every role is supposed to heal the world." Her smile faltered just barely, but for those paying attention, it was a clear shift. "I'm not sure I follow," she said, maintaining composure. "Are you asking about how I approach my roles?" Jimmy pressed forward with a smirk. "Well, you've done Requiem for a Dream, A Beautiful Mind, and now another intense drama. Don't you ever want to do something a broken bar lighter, maybe where you're not crying in every scene?" There was uneasy laughter in the audience. Jennifer sat taller. "I take on roles that tell meaningful stories. Sometimes that means they're heavy, but I've done comedies too. I don't think it's fair to reduce my work to just a crying on screen." But Jimmy wasn't done. "Be honest, when you get a script that doesn't involve trauma or emotional breakdowns, do you think it's beneath you?" The question cut deeper. "No," she said, her voice a degree colder. "That's not how I think. I respect all kinds of storytelling, but I'm drawn to characters with complexity. That doesn't mean I look down on others." Jimmy leaned in. "This is what I mean. Everything has to be so meaningful. Can't movies just be fun for a change?" Jennifer met his gaze. "Fun and meaning aren't opposites. Audiences are capable of both. Maybe you're underestimating them." The audience quieted. Jimmy continued, unfazed. "You assume people want to be challenged, but maybe they just want to shut off their brains for 2 hours." Jennifer's patience began to wear. "That's a false choice. You're presenting it like a film has to either be entertaining or insightful. That's simply not true." Jimmy grinned. "There it is. You always circle back to the broken bar intellectual superiority thing. You're saying simple movies are lesser." Her expression hardened. "You're twisting what I'm saying. I'm answering your questions with honesty and you're turning that into a character flaw. That's not journalism, that's baiting." Then came the line that pushed the moment over the edge. "Let's talk about your new movie," Jimmy said. "More crying? How many tearful close-ups are we getting this time?" The room went still. Jennifer's voice dropped low, steady. "You know what, Jimmy? This doesn't feel like a conversation anymore. It feels like an attack." Jimmy laughed, awkwardly. "I'm just asking the questions everyone's thinking. Number, you're mocking me, mocking my work, reducing my performances to nothing but emotion and breakdowns, and that is personal." A beat of silence passed. "You actors think you're saving the world," Jimmy said, trying to recover. "This is entertainment, Jennifer, and not a sermon." Jennifer stood up slowly. "Do you know what it's like to be a woman in this industry?" she said. "To spend years being cast as the girlfriend, the victim, the supporting shadow, and then finally get a role that gives you depth, and then come here and have you reduce it to another crying scene?" Jimmy froze. She stepped toward the desk. "You mock everything. That's your job. Mine is to care deeply about stories. Don't belittle me for that." Jimmy opened his mouth. She silenced him with a gesture. "Number, you wanted real talk? Here it is. You're threatened by people who still believe in art because it reminds you that you've stopped believing in anything." His expression faltered, the smirk disappeared. "I was excited to share something I'm proud of, but you turned this into a circus." She removed her microphone and laid it on the desk, calm but resolute. "Yes, I take my work seriously. Because it matters, it connects, it says something." Jimmy tried to interrupt, but she held up a hand. "Why does caring scare you so much, Jimmy? Why is passion something you feel the need to mock?" No one in the room moved. Even the camera crew held still. "You've been ironic for so long, you've forgotten what sincerity looks like. And when someone shows it, It makes you uncomfortable. She turned to walk off stage, then paused, looked directly into the camera. To anyone watching you, if you've ever been told you care too much, or feel too deeply, don't let them shame you. Don't let people like this make you feel small for loving something with your whole heart. And with that, she walked away. Jimmy sat frozen at his desk, exposed, speechless. The silence echoed across every screen watching.